Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is actually my first makeup tutorial and I wanted to show you guys my everyday look and what is in my makeup bag. I've really been experimenting with my makeup over the last couple years and I've really grown to have a deep passion for it and the creativity that's behind it and all of the different things that you can do. So I wanted to start making videos, show you guys my beauty tips and tricks. So keep watching to see how to get this as the final look. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do is moisturize my face. And right now I'm using Equate Beauty All Day Moisturizing Lotion. This is what I use here. I've been using it for a while. I'm really excited to try out some other brands once this is finished up. So just rub this in. Really put some on my neck too. I could rub it all in. Then I go in with my face primer. Right now I'm using 24 Hour Wear Normal to Dry e.l.f. Mineral Infused Face Primer. So this one here, and I've used e.l.f. primers before and they always seem to do a pretty good job. But along with the face lotion, once I use this up, I am looking forward to trying out other brands because I really am branching out when it comes to my daily makeup routine, but your girl's balling on a budget, so I'm not gonna go out and buy a new primer when I still have this. So I'm gonna use her up and then get a new one for a later video. So once the primer has dried a little bit, I'm going to start applying the foundation. So right now I am using Revlon Color Stay Normal to Dry once again, and I use 180 Sand Beige. Now, I know when I first started wearing makeup, I had a real paranoia about finding the right color for my skin, but this one seems to work pretty well. All right, so I just put a little bit on my hand here. I'm going in with a damp beauty sponge. Boop, boop, boop. Dab, dab, dab. Dab. Just kidding. We only dab with the beauty blender today. The real dabbing's for tonight. Yeah, buddy. I do stay clear of the under eye though because I use a concealer for that, and I don't like a lot of product underneath my eye here because I just think it's too much buildup, and I honestly think that it enhances under eye lines, which everyone has them. Like, don't ever feel bad about them. I've watched other beauty bloggers who have said that and it just makes me feel so much better because I know I have them, but girl, everyone does. You should just embrace your beauty. And if makeup adds to that, it makes you feel beautiful, girl, do it. I'm about it. So I do like to get around my nose pretty well. Sometimes I actually take out my nose ring because I don't want foundation all over it. And you can see where I wore my glasses this morning, so let's cover that up. Alright, so I'm just going over the details right now, getting in the crevices here. There's a lot of times I don't wear makeup. Like, I will go weeks without wearing makeup. But when I do wear makeup, I want it to look, you know, flawless. Like, I want it to look how it's supposed to look. So I do really focus on the fine lines and the hard to reach places. Okay, so I am going over my eyelids a little bit with this. I don't put a ton, just enough to kind of even it out. Side note, it's always important to hydrate when doing your makeup. It's my cheat day, so girl, you know I'm gonna go for a Club Chill Mountain Dew. My fave, but I got the water right here too, so mom, dad, I am staying hydrated with H2O. They always tell me I don't drink enough water, but hey, there it is. Hopefully it'll be empty by the time this video is over. So up next, the concealer. So the concealer that I use right now is Maybelline Fit Me, and I use the shade 25 Medium, and it does look old and used because I have had it for a little bit. And I was using a lighter shade, but I've kind of found here lately that I like the concealers that are more my skin tone or a little bit off, just because I don't have really prominent dark eye circles. So with also using a translucent powder, which I'll get to that later, it just makes my under eyes way too bright and white, and it just doesn't look natural to me. So I've been using this instead, and I just kind of come down, and I know there's all different ways to apply this, but this is how I apply it. And I do it like this because, as I stated earlier, I don't like a lot of product under my eyes, under my under eyes, because I just don't think it looks good. I think it looks way too cakey. And then also with the same beauty blender, it's still damp. I'm gonna come under here and just dab it out like we talked about. Dab, dab, dab. Dab it out. Dab it out. You can still see that mark where I have my glasses on. But it's okay, because it's gonna go away. See, like, you can tell that I added some. Well, I can. But it's not like bam crazy brightness in your face. It's really whatever shade, you know, you're comfortable with. Like, do whatever works for you. This is just what works for me. I'm gonna put my nose ring back in now before I forget and lose it. The next step in the beauty process is setting powder. And I had a best friend of mine who was just raving about this setting powder. And I saw a lot of beauty bloggers talk about it too, and I'm like, okay, y'all have me convinced, I gotta try it. So, you guys will probably guess which one this is. But this is the Laura Mercier. Mercier. Is it Mercier? Mercier. I feel like people say Mercier, but it definitely is ER at the end. So, Laura Mercier. I'll say it like that. Translucent setting powder. And this is what it looks like. It's honestly awesome. Translucent. Oh. And I did shake it up a little bit, so there's some on top. That's what it looks like without me spilling it everywhere. Damp beauty blender, beauty sponge, whatever you want to call it. Looks like I don't have a top lip because I have so much foundation on it. Once again, what are we gonna do? We're gonna dab. So, and it doesn't take a lot. I have had trial and error with setting powders. It doesn't take a ton. It takes enough, but don't overdo it. So, I look up a little bit and I dab, dab, dab. Dab, 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 back and forth. Okay, go one more time. Up. I do add a little bit on my chin here, because if you notice throughout the day, where are the places where you feel like your makeup's coming off the most is, I would say, your under eyes, chin, and your forehead. And I know me, which I'm trying to get out of the habit, but sometimes I sit like this, you know, I mess with my face, I touch my face. So I do like to add some in these places just so it does stick a little better. You know, through your work day, through your date night, through your clubbing night, whatever you got going on. So while this is baking, I am going to do my eyebrows. So right now I'm using just a pencil that I picked up from Sally's. I do want to try out other alternatives, just like I mentioned earlier with some other of the products that I currently have. But yeah, this is what I've just been using to start out. I have been growing out my eyebrows for a significant amount of time because, you know, back when it was the style to have them really thin and short, and now full brows are the trend. So I've been trying to grow them out, and I guess I didn't know how to do my eyebrows for a long time. I just started with a pencil. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm using this pencil here. I would tell you guys the brand, but it has rubbed off. But I did get it from Sally's at the checkout counter. So that's where you'll find it if you want this. I really like a natural brow look. I mean, I know some bloggers like, and it's all painted on and luscious and it looks very glam. But with every look I've had, I just don't go that route. So through here, you can see that some of my hairs are sparse. I just gently come through. You don't want it super thick, but you also don't want to see a patch through there because that doesn't look good. I have got to put chapstick on. I just feel nasty, like up next to you guys, it's still there. It's fine. With all this foundation on my lips. Okay. and then I come through. Ooh, honey. That look good. That looks so good. I used to like filling my brows way too thick. And looking back, it looked freaking horrible. It looked so bad. But like everyone was doing it. So these are kind of bars through here as well, as you can see. Going with the shape of my brow. With a lot of these pencils, they're really waxy and sometimes there's just not a lot of pigment. It glides on, but there's not, like I said, a lot of pigment. And my arch is higher on this eyebrow. No eyebrows are the same. The way it is. And we can't feel bad about it. We just have to work it to the best of our ability here. Looking good, brows. Looking good. I like it a lot. Alright, so up next is bronzer, and I typically don't wear this all the time, but I'm just gonna add a little bit just to give me a little bit more color on this dreary winter day. So I'm gonna use Benefit, called Dallas. I ain't gonna lie to you guys and tell you I got a Morphe brush, because I don't. These are from Amazon, and it's called, we're gonna be French here, Anjou, maybe? A-N-J-O-U, Anjou, works with me. Alright, so with bronzer, you just kind of wanna come in here, underneath the cheekbone area. I just put it around my hairline a little bit of glow. Alright, so now that the setting powder has been on for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, just take a clean brush, like so, just a nice fluffy brush. Get it off there nice and gently. Don't be too crazy with it. Okay. I recently picked this up and I love it. It is by Smashbox, and there's 3 different shades of blush in here, which really is perfect because it gives you a variety of, you know, whichever look you're going for. So these are the 3 colors. You can see me as dog toys. I think I'm gonna go in with this shade today. So we'll just come right here, and I've always loved blush. I just, you know, I love the little glowing cheeks. I mean, this looks good, but I think I am gonna add a little of this too, just to give me that pinky tone. There we go. Just like it right there. Cheeks. We are on to eyeshadow now. So for my everyday routine, I really lean towards the Sipping Pretty palette by Kylie Cosmetics, which holds near and dear to my heart. I am a huge Kylie Cosmetics fan. All my friends know it. The fam knows it. Mia knows it. This was part of her 21st birthday collection, and her and I are both Leos, so I really always try to get something from the birthday collection because it just like screams to me. I don't know. I do use it, like I said, almost every day. So you can see the colors that I use more often, and they're so beautiful. So when I first go in, I want to cover the whole lid, in which I did put foundation on earlier, so I should have a nice base for that to stick on. First, I'm going to go into this shade here. It's Vanilla on Vanilla, and it just matches really well with my skin tone. So it's a little lighter, so it does give a little pop on my brow bone. So we're just going to blend that in nice and smooth, and it's all about light strokes. So you don't want to like impress really hard. The key is, if you feel like you have to do that, you don't have a good brand of eyeshadow. I mean, that's just facts. Because I know in the past, I'm like, this is not pigmented, like I can't get the color I'm wanting, the color won't stick. So you press harder and harder and harder, and then it just looks too cakey. So really keep your eye out. I mean, you can find gems. You can find gems on drugstore brands. You really can. With anything. I mean, a lot of the items I have are drugstore brand. And they work well for me. Alright, so once you have your eyelid covered, like so. By the way, the brushes I'm using, once again, from Amazon. So, oh, and look at it's Anjou. It's the same brand. So I just like, they're actually really nice. This is the brush I always use. It's just the fluffiest brush, so I use it for blending at the end and applying the base like I just did. So then I'm going to go in with another Anjou brush here. And we're going to go for the crease. For my crease, I typically go in with this shade here. It's a light brown. It's called Moscow Mule. It's a funny name. Never had a Moscow Mule really before. A lot of people like them though. Alright, once again, light. I cannot stress this enough. Light strokes for blending. Blending is your friend. Blending is your lifesaver. I do the windshield wiper routine usually. But sometimes down here, I'll circle a few times, come back. That's typically what I do. See how well it's blended? It's not a harsh line. And sometimes you will want to, you know, dust off the excess. I do with eyeshadows that have a lot of fallout. These typically don't. This palette doesn't, in my opinion. I just go over it a few times. And I do use this color almost every day if I'm just going for like a natural look, because it goes with everything, and half the time I don't know what I'm gonna wear to work. Alright, and then we're gonna go into this eye next. I'm obsessed with this brown. Probably my favorite brown. It's not too dark and it's not too light. Like I promise you guys, I wear this all the time to like everything. Since I am going for a look that I would typically do every day and not be too wild, I'm gonna go in with Tequila Tangerine, just a light orange, and I've noticed like these just look really good together. So you wanna kind of go under the shade you just did, and same thing, blend softly. Just keep blending, just keep blending. Just want them to kind of mesh together. You want them to fade into each other. Want them to blend. Simple as that, kids. You just want it to blend. I'll also hit it through here. And it doesn't have to be super dark because we are gonna add another color. But I do this daily just because if I use these two shades, the Moscow Mule and the Tequila Tangerine, I just don't feel like I have another color to keep blending to that. The other colors are kind of dark, or we start out with the vanilla on vanilla, like that's the lightest that this palette goes. And I kind of just want to keep this light, fancy brown look. Okay, so now is the fun part of eyeshadow. Once again, going in with a Anjou brush. I always add a tidbit of glitter shadow, the main part of my lid, just because it gives it that extra little bit of pop. Here's the color now. It's really blending. There's a lot of shimmers in this palette, which I'm obsessed with. So let me show you guys again. So you can see the ones I typically use. Bam, 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 bam. They're really beautiful. And the golds and the browns go with any look. So that's why they're used the most. The key to getting shimmer to stick, you're gonna wanna have a wet brush or spray it with setting spray. Have it a little damp, it just goes on so much easier. Okay, so the one I'm deciding to go with, I think, is going to be this one here by the Vanilla on Vanilla. And it is called Martini Mama. I feel like I've never read these names until today, yet I use this on the reg. Okay, so with my brush, I'm just kind of, boop, boop, boop. Just kind of dabbing it in there. Since your brush is already wet, you don't really need to tap it to get the fallout because you want that shimmer to stay on your brush. And then I just dab it on my lid here, and you can really see it at first. See, don't these colors just look so good together? Just a bronzy, pretty look. Not too glam, but not too natural, like the no makeup look. You can see kind of a harsh line, depending on what kind of shimmer you use. This one's not terrible, but I'm still gonna brush through here with this feathery brush, just because it is really nice about blending out. And the lower lash line, I'm going to put this on before I apply the mascara with Moscow Mule. You don't want to bring it down too far because then it drags down your eye. But you do want to do it enough to where, I mean, you can see it. Now that the eyeshadow's done, I'm going to put on my mascara. Right now I'm using Revlon Mega Multi Plumper. I got it for Christmas from my grandma. Shout out, hey grandma. Okay, my mascara is done. I put it on the top and lower lashes. I don't put a ton because my eyelashes clump so easily because they're babies. Moving on to highlight. Another Kylie product. Here's the highlight that I use, and this is the one Cotton Candy Cream. You can tell it's gonna use, it used to have like these drip looks. And I'm going to use the brush here, Bakoy You. I believe it's also from Amazon. I got it for Christmas. It works amazing, especially for the highlight, because look at the shape of it. I use this specifically for highlight. So I just kind of sweep back and forth here. Just go right through here, each side. And then I do add a little on my nose here. So give it a little pop, and my Cupid's bow. For my lips, I usually make sure, and I put chapstick on throughout this video a little bit, here and there, just to make sure that they are moist and not super dry. But I'm going to put on Kylie Cosmetics, and I'm going with this shade here. It's called Kylie. I got this color as a gift. I thought it was so beautiful, and I love the way it looks. If you're just going for a natural look, and then drag it down. Now that I have this lip on, it's time to go ahead and set the makeup. So the setting spray that I use right now is by Hard Candy Glow Sheer Envy. Also another drugstore brand. I just picked this up from Walmart and works amazing, honestly. And I'm gonna use the beauty sponge again. I'm gonna use the flatter side. It's stained, but I'm going to use the flatter side here. So I'm gonna spray all over, and it's still damp. I'm gonna spray all over my face. Leaves that glowy look. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know how I'm doing on my very first makeup tutorial. I'm so excited to bring more videos like this for you guys, and I really appreciate you tuning in. This is something that I'm really excited about. Before you leave today, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can get all of my updates, because there are more to come. So thank you guys again so much. Can't thank you enough, and I hope you enjoyed this first makeup tutorial by yours truly. See you guys.